Hi y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Michaela or Kayla, whatever you want to use. Today is my anniversary, so I will be going out for a dinner and a movie. Today I'm going to be trying to do a gold halo smoky eye. So let's get started. So before I do anything to my face, I like to wash my hands because I don't like to touch my face or put any product onto my face without clean hands, just because it's just a personal thing. I don't want to give my face a chance to break out from any dirt, germs that I put onto my face. So with that being said, wash your hands. I never leave the house, makeup or not, without putting sunscreen on. Sunscreen to me is very important. And so the sunscreen that I use is the Aveeno Positively Radiant Sheer Daily Moisturizer Sunscreen, SPF 30. I really like this sunscreen because it's not too thick and it's not too thin. And it doesn't have a very strong scent of sunscreen, which I don't mind either. This actually smells like perfume, which I like because nobody wants to smell something really bad all day and then get a headache from it. So yes, I'm gonna be putting on the sunscreen. Just make sure you get everywhere, even on the neck, because it's important to get it on the neck if you don't want to give away your age. So the next product that I use is this Kypris Antioxidant Dew. I got it in a boxy charm and it says made exclusively for boxy charm. It is basically a glow serum. I mean, it's not a serum, but I put it on and it makes my skin really dewy. You could honestly use this for primer as well. It has that feel and that texture to it. And I put this all over my face. It feels nice, it's smooth, it's not sticky. Very moisturizing as well. The only thing that I don't like about it is the smell. If I'm gonna be honest, the smell smells like Thanksgiving stuffing, and I like stuffing, but not when my face smells like it. I don't like the smell. I don't like my product smelling like anything that I eat or anything nostalgic, because then if I don't like the product, then it ruins it. So here's the bottle, here's what it looks like. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Cypress. It feels very nice. The only downside is the smell. And yeah, put your hair back, and then we're gonna put on some primer. The primer that I use is the Poreless Putty Primer, the very famous one that everybody's been talking about by e.l.f. They say it's a dupe for the Tatcha, but I've never used the Tatcha one because, for one, I'm very poor and this was only $8. It feels very nice. It's not thick either, which I like because I don't like my primers being too thick, because then it doesn't feel like my primer is gonna melt into my skin and then my foundation is just gonna sit on top of it. So I just get a nail full and then I put it on my fingers to warm it up so that it can melt more easily into my skin. I put it around my nose, and then my cheek area, because that's where my pores are more prominent. On my forehead, because I have a little bit of texture there. And then I just spread it all around. And really, you know, press it into your skin so that your foundation doesn't sit on top and move around throughout the day, which isn't a cute look. Next, I'm gonna be using a color corrector because in my case, I have hyperpigmentation around my mouth. It's not cute when I put on foundation and it looks like I have a 5 o'clock shadow. Nobody wants to look crusty, dusty, any of the usties, right? So I'm gonna just twist out the product. It's the Maybelline Master Camo in the peach color. Looks like this. And then this is the top of it. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, it's one of those twisty ones and the product spills out with a little sponge. I put this around my mouth area, all around. And now the trick with this is not to put too much. Put on a very thin layer or put on a good amount of product and then thin it out with your fingers, because before doing this I was putting it on, you know, basically not blending it or melting it into the skin. And when I put my foundation on, you know, you're blending it with your makeup sponge, and so you're getting the foundation mixed with this orange color, and then when you're all set and prepped and all the good things, you go into the sunlight or any kind of light and you look like an Oompa Loompa, and that is not cute. I also put this under my eye, especially this one, because I don't know why, but this under eye of mine is always darker than the other one, no matter how much sleep I get. I also sometimes put it here because I have like a dark natural contour, but sometimes it can be too dark when I'm putting on foundation. So once you put the color corrector on all your dark spots and areas, I get my finger and I just blend it. I blend it especially in the corners of my mouth because that's where it's darkest. Sometimes I put it on my eyelid. I am the type of person that puts on eyeshadow before foundation, so that's what we're gonna do. I just find it easier, especially when you're doing very colorful looks or really dark colored eyeshadow looks. If you get product under your eye, it's easier to wipe away. So like I said earlier, I'm gonna be doing a gold halo eye look with a little smoke. And the eyeshadow products that I will be using today is the Jaclyn Hill with Morphe collaboration, the Vault collection. So I think I might be using all of the palettes except the Bling Boss, because yeah, these are all just purples and pinks. Yes. So all the palettes that I will be using today for my halo look are gonna be Ring the Alarm, the red one, Dark Magic, and Armed and Gorgeous, which are the yellow and orange, and then the Dark Magic is all the greens. Okay, so the first brush that I'm going to be using today is by Morphe. It doesn't have a number on it that I can see, but it comes in the rose gold collection, the one with the bag, and it comes with all the multiple eye brushes and face brushes as well. So this is the one I'm going to be using, the Domy fluffy one. I like to use this one for my transition colors. So before I do the eyeshadow look, I'm going to be putting concealer on my eyelid, just because as a brown girl, sometimes there are shades that don't come fully pigmented onto my eye and kind of blend into it a little. So I'm using the Tarte Shape tape in light medium, this little mini one. Haven't had the chance to get the big one because this little one lasts me honestly like 4 months, and I just got it. So I'm gonna be taking my Real Technique beauty sponge, and I'm gonna be blending it all over my lid. I'm blending it up to my eyebrow bone. I don't put any concealer under my under eye, just because for me, the more product that I put under my eye, the more my under eye tends to crease. And then I like to take a little bit of setting powder and set it so that the colors are easily blendable. And this brush also comes in that Rose Gold Morphe collection. I think it's a foundation brush, but I don't really like using brushes for my foundation, so I use it for this. So the first palette that I'm going to be tapping into is the Ring the Alarm palette. I'm going to go into the shade Rush, this one right here. I'm going to take that one and use that one as my transition shade. The eyeshadow color Rush and the Ring the Alarm palette. I'm putting it all over my eye as my transition shade. I'm going to be taking this fluffy brush. It's also in that Rose Gold collection. I like to use this one also for my transition shades and also for upper crease All right, next shade we're gonna tap into is Mugshot with that same fluffy brush. We're gonna tap into Mugshot. This is Mugshot? Yes. We're gonna tap into Mugshot here. And we're gonna put that in the upper crease area. So just in the upper crease area. Also putting enough pigments in the outer corner and in the inner corner because we're gonna be doing a halo eye look. So the glitter is gonna be focused in the center of my eyelid. So I'm taking a little more of Mugshot and mixing it with Rush. I'm so happy that Jacqueline just is starting her cosmetics line. I just recently got her a highlight palette and it's so bomb. She was actually the person who got me into highlight. Because honestly, I didn't know what highlight was until I came across one of her videos. So I'm taking Rush and I'm blending out all the harshness. I'm gonna be tapping into Armed and Gorgeous palette with this brush. This is a ColourPop brush E1. It came in a big white collection. All of the handles are white, E1. So I'm gonna be taking this and I'm gonna go into Armed and Gorgeous palette, into Smooth Criminal, and I'm gonna focus that shade in my crease, but a little lower than the other shade that I put. So I'm gonna be tapping into Smooth Criminal and putting that in my outer corner and my inner corner. And then just under the other shade that I put in the crease. And focusing it more on the corner. Next, I'm gonna be dipping into that shade Prowl in that the same palette, this one right here. And I'm also gonna be putting that in my outer corners and in the lower crease. Basically mixing it with that shade Prowl. And don't worry about getting any colors like in the center of the eye where the halo is supposed to go, because I'm gonna carve my halo out with concealer. I'm gonna be tapping back into the Ring the Alarm palette and I'm gonna take Siren and Secret. I'm gonna be mixing the both of them together. I'm gonna take this shade and I'm gonna take this shade, mix them together. I'm gonna tap it off. And I'm gonna go very light-handedly just over my transition shade. I do want a little bit of red in this look, a little richness, because my dress is going to be a little red. And then I'm gonna be taking this fluffy brush again, and I'm gonna go back into Rush and diffusing the harsh edges. I'm gonna go in circular motions and really diffuse this inner corner area because it looks too harsh there. It looks sloppy. Now I'm gonna do everything that I did on this eye and this eye, and then we'll cut to doing the halo. All right, so I just did the other eye, and before we cut the halo part, I'm gonna be dipping into the Dark Magic palette and the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and I'm going to mix Prowl and Mojo. So I'm gonna take this shade, I'm gonna take this shade here in the Dark Magic palette, and then I'm gonna go into the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and I'm gonna be also mixing it with Prowl. to get that smoky eye in the corners of my eye. And the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes with black eyeshadows, I don't know what it is, maybe it's just me, but they're really hard to blend. So when I put it on, it just looks really harsh. So like I said, I'm gonna be taking that in the corners of my eye. Keep mixing and applying to your eye until you get the desired pigmentation that you want. Before I blend, I'm just gonna pack it on. I might be also going into the black shade in the Dark Magic palette as well, but we'll see. And like I said earlier, it's okay if you get it on your entire eyelid because we are gonna be curving it out with concealer. I'm gonna go back to this brush and blend it because I like the way this blends. We're gonna try to keep all the really dark colors in the lower crease. I'm just going side to side blending, really blending it in the corners. All right, I'm gonna tap into Temptress and the Dark Magic palette, the black shade. I'm gonna tap into it, and with a very light hand, I'm gonna put it in the corners of my eyes. I'm gonna dip into Prow. And then to soften up the edges, I'm gonna go with this brush again, and I'm gonna go back into the Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm gonna take Siren and just soften it up. Again, sometimes these dark shadows can get a little out of control. I'm also gonna tap into Rush and get the very outer corners and the edges. I'm really just going up to the brow. I'm taking ColourPop E1 brush, going into Siren and hitting it in the crease, making sure everything looks blended. So now I'm gonna be taking my concealer and a packing brush. The packing brush that I'm gonna be using today is by Morphe. I'm using the M124. It looks like this. Very thin, nice packing brush. Again, Morphe M124. I'm gonna take my Tarte Shape tape. I'm gonna take the concealer, putting it on the back of my hand so that I don't mix any shade with my concealer. Now I don't use any setting powder to set the concealer in because I'm gonna be using a glitter, or I'm not gonna be using a glitter, I'm gonna be using the pressed powders in the palettes so that the glitter can stick better. I'm gonna be tapping into the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I'm going to mix Guilt Trip with On Camera and Ring the Alarm. So I'm gonna be mixing those two shades. Wet your brush with setting spray so that you can get the most pigment. I think I'm also gonna go back into the Armed and Gorgeous and I'm gonna use Classified. So the shade right here. I'm just putting that over. After that, I'm gonna be going into my E1 ColourPop blending brush. I'm gonna blend. I'm gonna go into Prowl in Armed and Gorgeous and Mojo in Dark Magic palette. I'm gonna be mixing those two shades and hitting my outer corners again. So now that the eyeshadow look is complete, I'm gonna go ahead and put on lashes. But before I do that, I'm going to curl them and put mascara. And the mascara that I use is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. This one that comes in the rose gold packaging. All right, now the lashes that I'm gonna be going in with today are by Kiss, the Lash Couture Triple Push-Up Collection. These are what they look like. They're named Garter. And I've already trimmed them to my eye shape. All right, now that my lashes are done, I'm gonna be doing my eyebrows next. I'm going to use the ColourPop Brow Boss. I had been using the ABH Brow Wiz in a soft black color, and it was just getting to be a little too expensive for me. And then I saw that ColourPop had come out with a brow pencil, and it's only $5, and this is all I use now. Now that I'm done with my eyebrows, I go in with foundation. And the foundation that I use is the Benefit Hello Happy. I just recently started using this and I love it. It's a perfect shade match. The shade that I am is 6. This is the mini one, only $15. It's pretty good. It lasts me for like 5 months or 6, so half a year. I think that's good for how small it is. And it's one of these pumpy ones. I also carve my brows with foundation. So I'll take like the tip of the sponge and I'll coat it in foundation and carve them out. I don't like using concealer because I don't like how bright it can get. Now again, you don't want to put any foundation under your eye because the more product, the more it tends to crease. I put foundation in my ear so that everything matches. And I bring the foundation down to my neck. I also don't tend to put a lot of product around my mouth area because I have really bad smile lines. And again, the more product that you put where your face creases, the faster and more prominent creases will show through. After foundation, I go back with my concealer and I go ahead and conceal all the normal regular places to conceal. So under the eye, I'm gonna also do the sides of my nose. I also use this to kind of carve out a wing where my eyeshadow is. And I just drag that product down. And then I'll take concealer and I'll put some right here on my forehead, down my nose, on the tip because we love a good highlight pop, and then Cupid's bow, and just a little bit around my mouth where I have pigmentation. Next we're gonna be setting and baking, and the powder that I use is the Kylie Translucent Setting Powder. This is one of the best powders that I've ever used, and I've used a couple of them. This one is just super fine grained, super soft, and it melts into the skin. I love putting it all over my face, and especially baking. I don't really use any other powder. I wish I was able to afford the La Mer, but we are not there yet. So for now, we'll use the Kylie one. And then if you start to get a little bit of creasing, just go ahead and, you know, blend it out. Sometimes you can just drag your under eye down and see that there is like product bundled up in there, and then you go in. You can also use this to carve out a wing if you don't want to use a concealer to do that. What I also like to do for under eye baking is hitting the sponge with setting powder and then into the powder and then under the eye so that it can just really melt and blend with the skin. So I put this on the side of my nose and just drag it down. In the center of the nose, on the tip, Cupid's bow, on the forehead, and the sides of my mouth. And properly look like cocaine is your life. Then I take the same sponge and I set my face, my neck, the whole shebang. And the ears, don't forget. Really press the powder in there. So that there's not a white cast and a blurring effect. Which I'd also like to note is one of the many pros of this Kylie setting powder is that your face looks and your skin looks so smooth that it really does look like a filter. Like, I know all these influencers, you know, and people trying to sell their makeup products to you are like, oh, it melts into the skin and it looks like a blurring effect. It really does look like a real life filter, but I'm telling you, this does look like a real life filter. Really seep it in there. And then I don't like to leave my forehead bake too long, so I use that and I spread it. Now, while that's baking, I do like to do a little bit of my contour. The one I've been using recently is by Tarte. I use the Park Avenue Princess palette. Love the packaging, love the colors inside, love how sturdy it is. I like that it's thin. It is kind of like super long, but that's okay. Anyways, this is what it looks like. Has a really big mirror in it. All these colors. One's for the under eye and then the rest for contour and bronzing. There are 2 shades in here that are sparkly and the other 2 are just matte. The ones that I'm going to be going into are Princess Cut and Angle and a little bit of Carrot. So I'm going to be mixing all of these 3 together and bronzing at my face. I take this brush is also by Morphe. It doesn't have a number. It was the Diamond Black Rock collection. I really love these. Have been one of my favorite brushes just by the packaging, and I use this brush to contour. So I usually go to from the middle of my ear and I go down. I don't like going straight forward because I feel like that doesn't do anything, so I kind of go like down. If it's too dark, you can go with whatever's left on the sponge that you use for setting powder or brush and kind of just diffuse it, veil it. Very light hand under the jawline. Sometimes I like to just go like this on the neck so that everything can really match. Everything is one color. And I go the sides of my face. Whole 3. And then after I do my cheeks and my face and let the bake sit, I'm gonna go ahead and do my nose contour with the same contour palette with this brush. I've had this brush for a really long time. I don't know the name, who it's by. I want to say Echo Tools or Real Technique, but I'm not sure. I've had it for a really long time. There's no number, all of the writing is gone, but this is what it looks like. My nose contour, I'm just gonna go ahead and take just the 2 matte shades, no shimmer. So Princess Cut and Angle. And I go in the bottom of my nose. I draw a line and drag it down so that I can have that cute button nose that turns up. And I go harsh straight lines and the curve. All the way up to my brow, to the start of my brows. And then I take another line on top of my nose, but kind of curve it a little bit. Get that cute button nose. And I kind of just let it sit there, honestly, to bake, because sometimes the contour on my nose, when I blend it, it kind of comes off. So I just kind of let it sit there. And while everything is baking and sitting, I'm gonna be telling you what highlight I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be mixing the Anna ABH Resi highlight. I have been using other highlights before. Before this one, I was using the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. That one was my favorite for a while, and then this one came out, and I haven't used anything since, until Jaclyn Hill came out with her highlight collection, because she was the one who got me into highlight, and I couldn't pass up not getting her highlight palette. So I think I'm gonna be mixing Iced and the Resi. And then I think for my nose, I'm gonna go in with Gleam. So I'm taking off my under eye bake and also blending my nose contour at the same time, because sometimes if I go in with a heavy hand on my nose, the under eye bake can diffuse it. For highlight, I'm gonna go in with the ABH Resi, like I said earlier, and mix it in with the Jaclyn Hill Iced This is without any setting powder. After everything is done, the last thing to do is the lips. I'm gonna take this Lip Venom by Doo Wop. I got it for Christmas. It's a lip plumper. Kind of just to, I guess, plump them up and also take off the foundation as well. This works, it does. I mean, don't expect like lip injection results, but it does work. Oh, well, that's plumping. I like to go back with my ColourPop eyebrow and I like to darken my beauty marks. While my lips are plumping, I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eye shadow. I'm gonna use the E1 ColourPop brush, this one right here. I'm gonna go into the Ring the Alarm palette and I'm gonna go in with Framed and mix it with Mugshot. So I'm gonna go in with these two colors here and do my under eye. All right, now that the lips are plumped, I'm gonna go ahead and put my lip color on. The two colors that I'm gonna be using today are the Superstay Matte Ink by Maybelline in shade 70 Amazonian. It's gonna be this one. I'm gonna use this kind of as a lip liner. And then something I'd like to emphasize and really put a spotlight on is the Vivid Hot Lacquer by Maybelline in shade number and name 62 Charmer. This, honestly, without a lip plumper or anything, I put this on. This color makes your lips look so big and makes it look like you have lip fillers, honestly. Just this lip color. If you don't put any lip liner or anything, no lip plumper, nothing, this makes your lips look so big like you have lip fillers. I've had people tell me that it looks like I have lip fillers and when I don't. So I swear by this lip, and if I'm gonna recommend anything to y'all in this video, it's this lip lacquer. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the lip plumper. So I'm gonna take the Matte Ink Maybelline and I'm using it as a lip liner. All right. After lining the lips with the matte ink, I'm gonna take the Vivid Hot Lacquer and go over it. I mean, how big do they look? They look really big, right? So after the lip color, that's the completed look. The only thing left is to put on setting spray. Unfortunately, I ran out of my setting spray, but the setting spray that I love to use is the Morphe setting spray. I also like the Urban Decay Up All Nighter and the Wet n Wild and the NYX one. I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I just want to say a quick extra thank you to everybody who's messaged me and have asked me and pushed me to finally start a YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. I never really had the funds to do it. Just thank you really from the bottom of my heart. I really enjoy doing makeup, and for everybody that's asked me and messaged me and pushed me to do this, I just really want to say thank you. I feel like I'm not wasting my time and I'm not wasting my money on products. To everybody who's asked me to do this, here I am finally doing it. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Also, if you want to see more of me and more of my life, go ahead and follow me on my socials. I'm gonna try to go ahead and put this somewhere on the screen, and I'm gonna try to also put all my products that I use in all of my socials in the description below. So I think that's it. All right, thank you guys.